come in, sir? Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, sir. Thank you, sir.
Medium is English or Hindi?
English.
English, good. You're from Rewari.
Yes, sir.
So I belong to Haryana also. I've never come across Mauriya name in Haryana. Is it common in your part of the state?
Sir, as of my recent, it is from Haryana Rajasthan region. So that is why.
That's why.
Yes, sir.
In the rest of Haryana you don't find Mauriya name.
No, sir. I have not found more of Mauriyas there.
All right. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now you've done NCC for how many years?
So I did it in my BTech first year for 1 year.
1 year.
Yes, sir.
So you have A certificate, or not even that?
No, sir. It is mentioned in my grade sheet. So there is no separate certificate.
How many NCC volunteers across the country do we have? Do you have any idea?
Sir, I will have to look into the exact
There was
numbers.
a reference to NCC in the budget.
Yes, sir.
You know what it was?
Yes, sir. Sir, the reference was that the cadet strength of NCC will be increased by 8 lakhs.
8 lakhs.
Yes, sir.
And currently how many are they? In the same context it was mentioned?
Sir, if I'm not wrong, it was about 25 lakhs, sir.
No, much less. If I remember right, it was 7. And then adding 8 more
Okay,
to
sir.
make it 15.
So,
but it was good to check.
Yes, sir.
You've been in Roorkee.
Yes, sir.
What was the major civil engineering project Roorkee Thompson College was known for, famous for?
Yes, sir. Sir, the Roorkee Civil Engineering College was established for Ganga Canal project. And so there it was suggested by Colonel Cotley, who was in the Royal Artillery, to the Lieutenant General Thompson at that time, because they wanted to train local engineering youth and
So you are familiar with the history of your institution, very good.
Yes, sir.
Now tell me, Cotley did the Ganga Canal.
Yes, sir.
And that has moved the river Ganga from the original flow.
Yes,
so
sir.
what you have in Harki Paddy is
Yes,
a channel created after the construction of the canal.
Yes, sir.
And once or twice a year it is cleaned. So to clean it, it has to be dried up. Do you think that the flow of Ganga is stopped because of this?
Sir, I will have to read about this issue,
No.
sir.
I'm not really asking you a trick question. Because you are an engineer.
Yes, sir.
And you have studied in Roorkee.
Yes, sir.
I'm only asking you that when Tehri Dam was built also,
Yes,
it
sir.
was said that the flow of Bhagirathi was interfered
Mm-hmm.
and Ulti Ganga behne lag gayi thi, which is a derogatory phrase in Hindi.
Yes, sir.
So I just wanted to know from your perspective how you viewed these large projects. What is your optional here? Chemistry.
Yes, sir.
Can you name a very famous Indian chemist who has got a Bharat Ratna?
Sir, Prafulla Chandra Ray was there, but
No, when he lived and died, there was no Bharat Ratna.
yes, sir.
So it could
didn't
not be
get,
that.
yes.
Although we can give posthumous Bharat Ratnas, but he has not been given.
Shanti Swarup Bhatnagar.
He has also not been given a Bharat Ratna.
Then
I'm surprised because you are a student of chemistry. You have given chemistry,
yes,
and
sir.
even if you are preparing chemistry for UPSC,
Yes,
you
sir.
go through the NCERT textbook.
Yes,
And
sir.
this gentleman has written an NCERT textbook on chemistry. CNR Rao. Forget it.
Yes,
I'll
sir, yes,
pass
sir.
you on to my honorable colleague.
Yes, sir.
You said your interest is in reading international relations.
Yes, sir.
How do you view the current international scenario?
Yes, sir. So the current international scenario is getting more and more polarized, and there are two groups which are forming. One is Russia-China alliance, which is getting strengthened as a result of Ukraine war, and second is the bloc led by West. So the world is getting more and more polarized. Right
That
now.
is one. What else?
Yes, sir. So secondly, the multilateralism is declining. The rules, the global rules and institutions, their credibility is increasingly questioned. So this is second problem, sir, with the current world order. So this is happening, sir.
What else? On the economic side?
Sir, in the economic side, the globalization is coming to an globalization is facing a backlash due to economic protectionist policies, be it by China or be it by United States. So the world is getting more and more economically fragmented as well.
Anything else? Something very drastic that's happening?
Yes, sir. Sir, in the developed economies, the advanced economies, there is an issue that recession might come in the coming months. So the kind of slowdown is being witnessed in the West, sir.
This slowdown will affect what?
So it will affect the global trade because they have a very large consumption. For instance, India's exports are already getting slowed due to weakening global demand in the West. So this will affect global trade.
So that is about India, but the whole world, what will happen?
Sir,
What is the key word that is used when we talk about recession in many countries together?
so global recession, it is referred to as global recession, sir.
Global recession and recession in many countries is the same thing. The supply chain will get affected.
Yes, sir.
Now, if the supply chain gets affected,
Yes, sir.
many countries will get into global debt.
Yes, sir.
What is your view? How many countries will suffer from acute global debt? Or are suffering already?
So Sri Lanka is suffering from a global
How
debt
many?
crisis.
How many?
Sir, I don't know about the exact numbers, but there are a lot of countries which are suffering, especially to which China gave debt under its Belt and Road Initiative.
So that means entire Africa, large part of Southeast Asia. So almost 75 countries are in global debt today.
Sir, not all those countries, but
75 countries. If you read Economic Times
okay, sir.
day before yesterday, it says 75 countries.
All right, sir. Thank you.
So that means a global recession is there, supply chain is affected. In all this scenario,
Yes, sir.
where does India stand?
Sir, to counter supply chain disruptions, India will have to develop its self-reliant capacity in economic domain, especially in manufacturing sectors. And secondly, India will have to pounce on the opportunity which is being provided by China plus one sentiment in businesses, so that India becomes a fulcrum of the global supply chains. So India will have to do that, sir, in order to hedge
India
against
will have
these
to
risks.
import a lot of stuff which also will not come,
Yes, sir.
like chips for cars and mobile phones are not coming.
India will have to work towards it slowly and gradually so that we can reduce our dependence in the medium to long term.
Okay, what is the total GST collection this year? It's a record collection.
So this year,
22-23.
so I don't know, but I know about December, it was more than 1.5 lakh crore. It was the second highest.
1.5 lakh crores, second highest.
Yes, sir, in December 22.
No, these are January figures, 1.56.
Sorry, sir, January figure.
1.56 crores.
Yes, sir.
Okay, one last question. In the budget, they are talking about natural farming.
Yes, sir.
What is natural farming and how many farmers are going to adopt natural farming?
Sir, natural farming is a technique in which no chemical fertilizers and the market-based inputs, these are not used, and the reliance is put on the farm-based inputs like dung and paddy straw, which is just put into the soil. So this is being done, and to give it a push, budget has called for bioresource centers which will be set up, and apart from that there is PM Pranam scheme to promote alternative fertilizers.
How many farmers are supposed to adopt this? Because farmers normally use chemical fertilizers. All farmers are using it. So how many will shift to natural farming over the next 3 years as stated in the budget?
Sir, I don't remember the exact number, sir. Sorry.
About 1 crore farmers.
All right, sir. Thank you.
Mr. Nitish,
Yes, sir.
as you know that in our country, one of the biggest worries, actually it is for such a long time, has been the energy security. We spend a lot of money on that. So the commitment that we have made for 2070, does it aggravates our problems, or does it put a lot of pressure on us, or does it make us think innovatively?
Sir, I believe 2070 is still 50 years, about 50 years into the future. So it is quite a good window for us to grow in this period and simultaneously contribute to the climate change contributions. So these two things which can balance, and we can thus invest in renewable energy, be it critical minerals or be it green energy. We can do that, sir, in the meantime.
Okay, looking at the situation of environment in
Yes, sir.
general,
Yes, sir.
it appears that the sooner the better we wean away ourselves from fossil fuel uses. But would it ever be possible? Because it appears more and more that our dependence on coal is not going away anywhere. And the petroleum products that you see, that how much you're dependent on. So when the fossil fuel actually do you think possibly we can do without?
Sir, I believe India will depend on fossil fuels for at least 2-3 decades. But we are slowly reducing our dependence. We will in the future, because we are investing in renewable energy, be it solar, wind. So we are investing in that, and we will have to phase out the old thermal power plants, and we will have to put a stop on launching new thermal power plants.
But you cannot phase out unless you have alternative in place. We don't even produce the renewable energy that is 1/4 of the total needs.
Yes, sir.
Even less than that.
So it is being gradually done, especially in last 5 years. The situation has improved. We have improved on our renewable energy capacity. So we will do that, especially in
Which
this
are the
decade.
major sources?
Yes, sir. Sir, solar energy, wind energy, and now we are investing in hydrogen as well for mobility, green hydrogen.
As a science student, you might have read about the solar energy. In itself, it's posing environmental challenges because the films and other peripherals that is used in the leftovers. So how that could be handled, because it's another big problem.
So I will read about that, sir.
You have not read about this, the problem of the many components of it, the films and the leftovers, and how after the...
Sir, their manufacturing can be more sustainable, so that the byproducts or the pollutants which they emit, they can be reduced. So this can be done, but through R&D expenditure, more and more innovation can be done in this to make it more refined.
And major hydro projects, what are the problems that we are facing?
Sir, in the hydro projects, we are facing environmental issues, social issues, and even geopolitical issues. For instance, Pakistan opposes our projects, Retal and on Jhelum project is there. So these are the problems which hydroelectric projects face, sir.
Okay. The chemistry that subject that you've opted, it's a bit unusual.
Yes.
It's a bit unusual.
Yes, sir.
But then you could have opted for some other subjects as well.
Yes, sir.
So why did you go for chemistry? Because you were a BTech and it was easier for you?
Yes, sir. Sir, I liked chemistry when I was studying in JEE, and since metallurgy was not offered, so I took chemistry.
And one last thing, here you have written that you watch movies, wars, science fiction, thrillers.
Yes, sir.
So do we make such movies in Hindi, India? Because I don't want you to name only the Hollywood, the movies alone.
Yes, sir. Sir, there have been movies, but not so much as in Hollywood. I mean, I can name some.
Because
war
I wanted
movies.
to preempt, because I knew that you will name only the...
Name 3 major
War movies from India, sir.
Indian war movies.
Indian movies. So there was a movie named Border, and LOC Kargil was there, and there was a movie named Tango Charlie. So these are, I remember.
Older ones you have not watched, the Hindustan Ki Kasam, Hakikat.
Hakikat.
No, sir, I have not watched.
You haven't even heard of.
No, sir. I heard about Hindustani Kasam and Hakikat, but I have not watched it.
So at least the background you might be knowing. Or
No, when you
just
say
to-
war movies and
Yes,
you
sir.
talk in terms of Indian war movies, you
Yes.
try to remember the wars India has fought and have there been films made on them.
Yes, sir.
So that's what basically is there. Anyway,
Hakikat and Hindustan Ki Kasam, which wars they are made?
Sir, if they're old, then they must be based on 65 or 71 wars. So,
was there a war with India and China in 62?
yes, sir. Yes, sir. That may be there.
Your guesses are wild. Hakikat
Sir.
is 1962, China Indo-China war.
Hindustan Ki Kasam is 1971.
Okay, sir.
I'll continue with this for one more minute
Yes,
because
yes.
this is your hobby sector. You said reading books on international relations.
Yes, sir.
What is the last book on international relations you read?
Sir, I read India and Asian Geopolitics by Mr. Shiv Shankar Menon.
It's a very good book. Tell
Yes, sir.
me what he argues in that.
Sir, firstly, he talks about the India-China relations
Excellent.
and how they are going to be contentious and what India should,
No,
how
the
India
point
should
we
deal.
made. Next.
Okay, sir. So he talks about how globalization affected the Asian geopolitics
Very good.
and what India's tasks. Third point is what India's tasks should be there in the next decade. This is the point he makes. And apart from that, there is a long history of India with Asian geopolitics, which he refers
Have
in
you
part
read a
1.
book called India Way?
Yes, sir.
Who is written there?
Mr. S. Jaishankar, sir.
Now, is there a difference in perspective of India Way and Mr. Shiv Shankar Menon's book?
Sir,
No, let's not.
no,
Let's
sir,
not make. Yes.
Sir, actually, Dr. S. Shankar, he wants India to play a more proactive role on the global stage to be able to shape the global outcomes, be more assertive on the stage. And Shiv Shankar Menon also makes the similar point, but his approach is more subtle, I would say.
All right. Excellent. No issues at all. You've been reading your books well. I'll pass you on to the chairperson.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, you are a very good candidate, Nitish.
Yes, sir.
Not generally knowledgeable and very cool, calm.
Yes, sir.
That's first about your personality. You have to shave.
Yes, sir, I will.
You shave or
Yes,
you
sir.
grow a beard.
Yes, sir.
When is the interview?
So it is on 3rd March.
3rd March. Okay.
Yes.
So shave. Don't keep your hands like this. Put them together.
Okay, sir.
This is better.
Yes, sir.
And maybe your trousers are too short. Your socks showing.
Yes,
They
sir.
look ugly. Or in any case, otherwise you go for black socks.
Okay, sir, I will.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So that will take care of your and your tie. If you see the other tie,
Yes.
the back of it.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
it should
I
not be
will.
showing in the
Yes,
first
sir.
place. Right. Two things which we advise everybody. This was specific to you. Two, one, questions are mainly asked from DAF.
Yes, sir.
So master your DAF.
Yes, sir.
Cull out 100 questions out of your own DAF.
Yes, sir.
We ask you 10.
Hmm.
There are 90 more. You
Yes,
find
sir.
them yourself.
Yes, sir.
And international relations, it's interesting that you read books on international relations
Yes, sir.
while international relation is not your optional subject.
Yes, sir.
But fortunately, you gave good answers. You mentioned two very nice books.
And you analyze them rather well.
Yes,
I
sir.
rather liked your answer that Shiv Shankar Menon does it in a subtler way. Dr. Jaishankar has a more gung-ho, more proactive way.
Sir, but if I say this in the real interview, would it be politically
No,
incorrect?
it's just perfect.
Yeah,
I think you put it very delicately. That both say the same thing. One does it subtly,
Yeah.
the other puts it up in your face. There's nothing wrong with it.
Yes, sir.
One is a hardcore realist.
Yes,
So,
sir.
okay, suppose it was not in the interview.
Yes, sir.
What would you have said?
Same answer, sir.
Same. So then why are you asking?
No, I'm just.
No, don't worry about that.
Yeah.
Your answer is
See,
very
but
few.
if you have a different answer, we would like to know what is the other
See, there are
answer.
others who are
Do you want to
No,
be a
sir.
little
This
more-
is my genuine answer, which I
Very good
felt.
answer.
Your genuine answer was very good. My only, sorry sir, with your permission, I would like to advise you, pick up one or two more books like Vijay Gokhale's books on China.
Sir, I've read The Long Game. I've read.
I'm sure you have read. I'm sure you have read. And if you can put Shyam Saran's book into context,
Yeah.
it gives you a very, very overall perspective. Even Shiv Shankar Menon's first book, Choices.
Yes, sir.
I'm not asking you to read everything. But
I've
even-
read, sir. All these books I've read.
I'm sure you have.
How India sees the
Your
world.
international relation is better than many PSIR students.
You should do it. Very
Actually, I like so.
well. No,
That's
you
why
have
I
proved
asked
it. You have
that
proved it.
chemistry
You have
instead
proved.
of chemistry.
You have
Yes, sir.
proved. The only flaw was that if you are interested in so much international relations
Yes,
and
sir.
India-China, to skip on the 1962 war is a bit tricky.
Yes, I will.
Don't
read-
worry about that.
I will look that. I will watch that
No,
movie.
no, I'm
sir.
very happy with your answer.
Just one thing I wanted
Yes,
to
sir.
say. Suppose you feel that your views may be uncomfortable for the board
Mhm,
and you still have strong views,
mhm.
then my suggestion is use the words, may I submit,
Yes.
and say what you want to say.
Okay, sir.
Because, then it will not be taken adversely.
Mhm.
May I submit with your permission. That should be
All right,
enough.
sir.
You should not fear giving your views, because if your views are being asked, you're not being asked to toe the line.
Yes.
If your views are not asked, you're speaking generally, then it's okay. But
Yes.
otherwise, if you say that, that's
Yes. Sir.
So out of the two suggestions, that was one. Secondly, read the newspapers thoroughly.
Yes, sir.
Which are your newspapers?
Hindu and Economic Times.
Economic Times. I do suggest, please add Indian Express also.
Yes, sir.
for this
I
one.
do. I do read the editorials and explained.
He explained.
Ye-
Yeah,
yes, sir.
they are meant for you
Yeah,
only.
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
So these three newspapers are very good. If you don't already, have a diary and take out 5-6 items every day.
Yes,
Write
sir.
in your own hand, then you'll remember.
Yes, sir. I will.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Good luck.
Sir, can you please give me the marks out of 275? I'll
We-
just get an idea.
We will decide and you will be conveyed.
See you in top 20.
Sir, but I'll just get an idea out of.
No, you have done.
we will discuss
We'll
and
discuss.
We
have
can't
to
give a
decide.
knee-jerk reaction. I'm very happy. He's very happy.
Yes,
but
sir.
we might as well have second thoughts.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you, sir.